Okay? So learning objectives of our topic for today is to define the root finding techniques in finding the roots of algebraic and transcendental equations. So there are three different kinds of method when we are using. So there are three different kinds of methods for root finding techniques. We have the graphical method, we have the bracketing method, and then lastly we have the open methods. Yeah, bracketing methods and open methods. Okay, so under bracketing methods, there are still a subtopic for it. For bracketing methods, we have the bisection method and the false position method. For open methods, there are I think six methods, but for today, we will only be focusing now for the graphical method and the bracketing method. Now we are to analyze the different bracketing method in finding the roots of equation and then apply the knowledge of root finding techniques in solving engineering problems. So there will be an example for each problem. No, for each method. Sorry. So roots of equation. So let's define what is a root. What is the root of an equation? When you hear the word roots of an equation, we are referring to the value of x that will intersect in the x-axis. Okay? So example, here is an example diagram. So this is your graph of the equation. So your graph of the equation, whatever intersects in the x-axis, sorry for my pen. Anyway, so when graphing, again, our roots of the equation will be always the one intersecting in the x-axis. So this is the root. Ano? So this is the root or xr. Okay? So where x is the root of the solution of the equation f of x, where f of x is equal to 0. So again, the root is the x where the x is intersecting in the x-axis and along the graph. So graphically, f of x is equal to 0 or y is equal to 0. It refers to the intersection of f of x and the x-axis. So sample of graphs. So we can determine if there is no intersection by the graph and the x-axis, it means that there is no real roots. Okay? But once it touches the x-axis, there will be at least one root. Okay? Because sometimes there are multiple roots, just like for this example. Sometimes your graph is, yeah, no. So there are multiple roots. Anything that touches the x-axis is the root for the equation. Okay? Is it clear?
Yes
Okay.
po.
Wait lang class. Okay, moving on. So numerical methods, again, there are different kinds of method for solving the roots of equation. We have graphical method, bracketing method, and open methods. For today, we will be discussing graphical and bracketing method. And under bracketing method, there are two subtopics, which is the bisection method and the false position method. So for graphical method, it is the simplest method in finding the root of an equation. However, it can only provide a rough approximation. What do we mean by rough approximation? Because from the word itself, we are going to graph our plotted points and determine by using observation, analyzing the graph, we are to determine what is the root of the equation. Okay, we are going to use our eyes. Look at that dot. Let's say this is 1, this is 2. So approximately, it is our root of equation is equal to 0.5, just like that. Okay, that is how we use graphical method. So rough approximation meaning sometimes your approximation can either be close to the true value or somehow far but yet not so far from the true value. Okay, so all of you are not going to be getting the exact because you are approximating it. You're using your eyes from the graph on what it will land on the intersection. Okay, next. So by graphing the function, we can observe what value of x does it cross the x-axis or simply f of x is equal to 0 or by determining the x0 point. In this case, this one. Ano, whatever intersects in the x-axis, that is your root of your equation. So steps in using graphical method. So given the function or given the formula, we are to substitute all the given values. Step 2. Substitute different values of x to the equation and tabulate the result of f of x. Meaning, you are the one to be giving the values of x in order for us to get the values of f of x. Why? For example, this is your table. So we have x and f of x. Let's say your formula is f of x is, for example, f of x is equal to x squared plus 1. So we are to be the one giving the values. Let's say we use x is equal to 1. So solving for f of x, 1 squared plus 1 is equal to 2. Next is we have 2. So 2 squared plus 1 is equal to 5. Then 3. 3 squared plus 1 is equal to 10 and so on. Then step 4 is to, based on the step 3, we also need to graph the values. So we are now going to graph it. So say 1, 1, 2. So we are going to graph each point. Then 2, 5, say here. Then 3, 10, here. Then let's say another one. Let's give it a negative value for x. Let's say negative 2. So negative 2 squared plus 1, we have uh, 4, so 5. So negative 1, negative 2, so 5. So when plotting it, didn't reach the x-axis, meaning there is no root for the equation. Okay, because in order for us to get the root of equation, it needs to intersect with the x-axis. So in this case, for this example, there is no root of equation. Okay, so that is how we use graphical method. Then step 4, we are to approximate the root based on the graph and validate if it really is the solution for the function. Meaning for step 4, this is for checking. Okay, for step 1 to 3, this is for the solution. In order for us to solve for the x root. While for step 4, it is the checking. Okay, so example, let us use an example. Okay, so use the graphical approach, so meaning we are going to use the graphical method to determine the drag coefficient C needed for a parachutist of mass m, which is equal to 68.1 kilograms and a velocity of 40 meters per second. We have time of 10 seconds and gravity of 9.81 meters per second squared. So in this case, the formula is already given. But not all the time the formula is given. Sometimes they will only say using distance formula. Those are some instances when so you need to somehow be familiar with other formulas. Okay? So in this case, the formula is already given. So solution, it will be better if you are to write first the given. So class, kindly for your better understanding, get a ball pen and a calculator and paper. Try to follow my discussion. Try to solve also so you will have a better understanding. No? So we have the given mass, velocity, time, and gravity. Then we also have the formula, the equation, which is Fc is equal to gm over c times the quantity 1 minus e raised to negative c over m times time minus velocity. So step 1, we are to be substituting all the given values. So this is it. We substitute it. We have to input it in our calculator na. After substituting all the given values, we are to give a value of x, or in this case, in this problem, c. So c is x, then f of c is f of x. Okay? So in this case, we use an example. We have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Then substituting these values to the given formula, so we have f of c is equal to g, which is 9.81, times g 60 sorry, 68.1 over c times the quantity 1 minus e raised to negative c over m, which is 68.1 times time 10 minus 40. We just need to substitute the values of c in this formula or equation in order for us to get the following answers. Okay? Any questions so far for our step 2 in using graphical method?
Sir,
Questions?
exponent ga po yung ano, yung pagkatapos po nung e raised to
Yes.
negative c over
Uh, yes, this is exponent. E raised to
okay.
negative c over. Okay? Any other questions? None? Okay. So proceeding with step 3. So for step 3, graph the values of x and f of x or y and observe where the function crosses the x-axis. So in this case, you're going to graph. So we have the values of 4, 8, 12, 16, and then 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Then we have 10, 20, 30. So for 4, we have the value of 34.19. So right around here. Now, for 8, we have 17.712. 17, let's say here. Ah, for 8, right around here. Then for 12, we have the value of 6.114. So 6. Then for 16, negative 2.23. So around here. Then for 20, negative 8.36. Around here. Then all you have to do is to interconnect the dots. Oops, sorry. Ah, Interconnect the dots and determine where is the intersection of our graph. No. So here is the intersection. So through the use of our observation using our eyes, analyzing the graph, where do you think did it land? The approximation may vary differently for each person. So let's say observing this. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So around 14.75. Okay? That is now the root of equation. Okay? Clear? Any question? That is how we use graphical method from step 1 to step 3. That's it. That is the root of equation, 14.75. Now, for step 4, we are going to check if our assumption is correct. So how are we going to determine if our assumption is correct? Again, we are going to substitute the value x root is equal to 14.75 to the given formula or equation. So we are going to substitute it 14.75, 14.75. The final answer would be 0.09882999168. And if it is rounded off here, it is approximately equal to 0. Approximately equal to 0. Meaning, we are definitely close to the true value. So that is correct. Our answer or our assumption is correct. Okay? Clear? Steps 1 to steps 4 for graphical method. Any questions before we proceed to the bracketing method? No questions? Okay, so no questions. There. Bracketing method. So for bracketing method, these methods deal with the fact that a function typically changes in the vicinity of a root. So these techniques are called bracketing methods because two initial guesses for the root are required. So take note, two initial guesses. We will explain it later. But we have to take note what is these two initial guesses. Next is, as the name implies, these guesses must be bracket or be on either side of the root. Okay? Meaning, if this is our graph, these are the two initial guesses. It should be on either side of the root. Our root is always along the x-axis. Okay? If x or our root is always on the x-axis, meaning our bracketing or our graph, for example, this is our graph. Our x, our two initial guesses should be initial guess 1 and initial guess 2. Sorry. Ah, x lower, x upper. So two initial guesses, the root should be between the two. Okay? Between the two. Because our xr or x root is right here. So, or be on either side of the root. Then, the particular method described herein employ different strategies to systematically reduce the width of the bracket and hence home in on the correct answer. Okay, so how are we going to use these two initial guesses? So we are to use those two initial guesses by using bisection method and false position method. Okay, so we have bisection method. So for bisection method, again, two initial guesses. So for our two initial guesses, we have the lower x and the upper x, or x lower and x upper, for the root that the function changes signs over the interval. So what do we mean? That the function changes sign over the interval, meaning our x lower and x upper, our f of xl and f of x upper should be the opposite sign, meaning someone should be negative, some be positive. Okay? Or vice versa. This is positive and this is negative. Okay? Why do we need that? This is also the explanation. This can be checked by ensuring the product of f of xl and f of x upper should be negative or less than 0. This is to ensure if the product of the two is negative, this is to ensure that your chosen x lower and x upper are on the opposite side or on the bracket. No. So example, here is your x lower down here and this is your x upper. So f of xl for here in this case is positive and f of x upper in this case y is negative, so negative. No. So if we are to multiply the two, the answer or the product is negative sign. And since it's negative, meaning the border it crosses or it has a root of equation in between them. Okay, so that is step one. So for step two, by using this formula or bisection method. Okay, this is the formula for solving XR. Quite simple. X root is equal to x lower plus x upper divided by 2. Okay, after getting the root, we are going to move into step 3, which is to make the following evaluation in which the subinterval the root lies. So we have three instances or three different ways in order for us to determine if we are still going to continue with the computation or we are going to terminate the computation. So first instance, if we are going to multiply for step 3, we are always going to multiply the function of x lower multiplied by the function of x root. Okay? So in this instance, if the answer is negative or less than 0, the root lies in the lower subinterval, meaning we are going to change the x upper into x root, and then we are going to return to step 2 and solve for another x root. Okay? Meaning, why are we going to return it? Because we need to get approximately equal to 0 in order for us to terminate the computation. So later in the example, I will show it to you. Ano? So let me explain first these steps. For second instances, if the product for our x lower and the function of x root is positive or greater than 0, therefore we are going to use the x lower as the answer for the x root. So we are going back to step 2. Repeat the process until we get this condition where f of xl multiplied by f of xr is approximately equal to 0. Okay? So what do I mean by these steps? So let's use this example again. Yan. Using not graphical anymore but bisection. Use the bisection approach or the bisection method to determine the drag coefficient needed for the parachutist of mass m 68.1 kg, their velocity of 40 meters per second after free falling for the time 10 seconds. Note that due to gravity is 9.81 meters per second squared. Again, we are going to use bisection method instead of graphical method. So when using bisection method, we are going to still tabulate it for a better tracking so it can be traceable. Ano, again, in my previous topic, from topic 1, we've said that numerical method needs to be tractable, traceable. Ano, in order for us to determine where did we go wrong if we are going to receive a wrong answer. Ano, for easier evaluation also. So we are going to use this table. So let's go on to jump board. Does everyone see the board? Okay. So using bisection method, before we proceed, until what time are we? 1?
1 p.m. po, sir.
Okay. So bisection method. Using bisection method, again, step 1. Again, the formula is everyone kindly get a pen, a ball pen, a paper, and your calculator. Okay. So we have the formula of GM over C times the quantity 1 minus E raised to negative C over MT minus 40. So the givens are mass is 68.1, gravity 9.81, time 10, then velocity 40. Okay, we are to determine the value of C. So for step 1, make an initial guess. 2. Initial guesses. Okay, so two initial guesses, we have XL and X upper. So let's say, again, not necessarily all of you are going to be using the same X lower and X upper. Okay? Because this is your own approximation. So your own solution. But your final answer will be all approximately precise and accurate. So numerical methods, not necessarily all of you will get the same answer, but you will be receiving a precise and accurate answer. Okay? So step 1 again, two initial guesses. For x lower and x upper, let's say I'm going to use 12 and 16. Okay? Then we are to determine if there is a root between them. So again, how are we going to determine? If there's a root between them, we are to multiply f of xl and f of x upper. The answer should be negative. Okay? Should be negative to be able to, so that we can tell that there is a root between them. Okay? So let us get the f of xl and f of x upper. In this case, we are going to substitute 12 in this formula. Kindly get nga the f of xl. What is the value for f of xl? Substitute all the givens, then substitute 12 to C. Yeah, Mr. Bartlett John.
Wait lang po, sir. Tinatype ko lang po sa calculator po.
Okay, go.
Sir, 6.11 po.
Okay, so 6.11. Now, how about for the x upper, f of xu? Yes po. Someone raise their hand. Yes, Avniel there.
Sir, negative 2.23 po.
Negative 2.23. Okay? Then, getting the product, it will give us, since this is negative, this is positive, the result is negative. Correct? So, ibig sabihin, or so meaning, we have a root of equation between the chosen initial guesses. So, we can now proceed to step 2. Again, we need to have the negative result for f of xl and f of x upper in order for us to determine if there is really a root between the initial guesses. Since this is negative, we can now proceed to step 2, okay, which is solving for the root. So the formula again for you when using bisection method is x root is equal to x lower plus x upper divided by 2. In this case, 12 plus 16 divided by 2, the answer is 14. No. Then, before we proceed to step 3, let us solve for f of x root. So, we are going to simply substitute 14 in this formula. So, anyone? What's the answer for our root function of x root? 1.61. Okay. So 1.61. Then we are going to proceed to step 3, where step 3 is to get the product of f of xl and f of xr. Okay? So multiplying it, our value for f of xl is 6.11 multiplied by f of xr, which is 1.61. What is the answer? 6.11 times 1.61, get a result of 9.8371. Ano? Once we receive the value, again, there are three cases. So 3 for A, B, and C. If the product of the two is positive but not approximately to 0, we are going to change x lower into x root. Okay? For letter B, if the result is negative but not approximately equal to 0, change x upper where the result is x root. And for step C, if the answer is approximately equal to 0, then we already arrive at the result. Okay? So step 3, in this case, the answer is 9.8371. So in this case, AB, we are going to be using letter A, where it is a positive answer but approximately not equal to 0. So we are going to go back to step 2 by and changing our x lower to the solve root of the equation. So we are going to iterate. We are going to repeat the same process, so on and so on until we receive this condition. Ano? So that's why we are going to use a table. Ano? So again, the table for bisection method, we have I. This is for better tracking. Okay? Then we have x root, x lower, x upper, f of xl, and f of x root. Okay? So our first iteration, when we say first iteration, the first one we have solved. Okay? So first iteration, our xr is 14. No? So we input 14. Then for XL, the initial guesses, we have 12 and 16. 12 for X lower and 16 for X upper. So 12, 16. Then the solved Y for each corresponding excess. No? So we have for f of xl, we have 6.11. Then for f of xr, we have 1.61. Ato, 1.61. No? Then f of xl, f of xr, again, the result is 9.8371, which is greater than 0, not approximately equal to 0. So we have to go to another iteration, second iteration. Since our product for f of xl and f of xr is greater than 0, we are going to change the value of xl in our second iteration. Yes, Mr. Avniel.
Sir, hindi ka po baliktad yung sa ano, yung f of XL ko at saka f of XR.
F of xl.
Yung
Ah,
ano nga po sir, baka po mali lang din ako ng gawa po ang f of XL ko dito ay ano eh.
alin? Ito, f of xl.
Ay tama pala sir, sorry po, sorry.
Okay. Si f of xl, again, we solve f of xl by substituting the value of xl, which is 12, to this formula. No? So, given naman yung mass, gravity, and time and velocity, we will be solving f of xl na. Okay? Again, moving on to our second iteration. Since this is greater, we are going to change the value of xl for our second iteration. So, xr is still unknown. XR is still unknown. So XL, changing it, we have 14. So this is now 14 for the second iteration. As for X upper, retain, copy. Now for f of XL, we've already solved for the f of XL, which is f of XR. We can just copy it. 1.61. So the unknowns are XR, f of XR, and the product of these two. No. So again, going back to step 2, solve for xr again, which is x lower plus x upper divided by 2. So in this case, our x lower is now 14 plus 16 divided by 2. We have the value of x root is equal to 15. Just input it, 15. Then solve for f of xr. Again, substitute the value of 15 to the given formula and we will get the answer. So what's the answer for our f of xr? Just substitute this 15. The letter C, substitute the 15. Negative 0.38. Okay, so input negative 0.38. Now, what is the product of the two? 1.61 times negative 0.38, we will be having an answer of 31 times 0.38. Negative 0.61. Correct? Did you also get the same answer? Okay. So is this already approximately equal to 0? Yes or no?
No
Oh,
po sir.
okay. Why? Because if we are going to round this off, it is still negative 1. So we still need to to, again, go back to step 2. So this is now less than 0, but not approximately equal to 0. So we are again going to use step 2. Ano? So step 2 again. Now, since this is negative, for our third iteration, negative, meaning our x upper will be the one to be changing the value na. No. So we are just going to copy the 14. Since negative, the sign is negative, x upper will change to whatever x root we get from the previous iteration. In this case, 15. So 15, f of xl, still the same. So just copy. Then f of x root, still unknown ang x root, still unknown and unknown. So we are again going to solve for the root. So again, step 2 again, x root now is equal to, so 14 plus 15 divided by 2, which will give us x root of 14.5. No, so just input it in your table, 14.5. Then what is our x root?
Zero point 59 po.
0.59.
0.59. And did I hear it correctly?
Yes po.
Okay. So 0.59. Again, going multiplying these two, getting the product. So we have 1.61 times 0.59. The result is 0.9499. Again, this is still not approximately equal to 0, but it is greater than 0. Meaning we are going to change again for the fourth iteration. Which one are we going to change? X lower or X upper? We are to change. If you truly understood, what are we going to change? X lower or X upper? Anyone?
Lower po.
Lower po.
Okay, very good. We are going to change X lower since, again, this is positive. If we got a value of positive, X lower is the one that is going to change. So we are just going to copy the X root, 14.5, then copy the X upper. So 14.5, 15, then f of xl, since our xl now is 14.5, we're just going to copy the f of xr from the previous iteration, which is 0.59. Then again, repeat the process again. Solve for the x root, then solve for the f of xr, then multiply the product of the two. So again, this is now the fourth, this is the second, this is the third. So the fourth iteration, again, going back to step 2, we have 14.5 plus 15 divided by 2, which we will get x root of 14.75. No. So for 14.75, again, input 14.75. What is our f of xr? 0.09. Okay, thank you, Alvin. Then what is the product of the two? 0.59 times 0.09. We will be having a product of 0.0531. Now, is this approximately equal to 0?
Yes po.
Yes.
Okay, so we are now going to stop at this section. Since this is approximately equal to 0, it meets the condition in step 3 for letter C. So our final answer for our root of equation is now 14.75. Okay, that's it. That is the answer. Again, if we are going to compare it to our graphical method, wala pala dito. In our graphical method, we've also arrived in the same conclusion where x root is 14.75. So just the same. No, but not necessarily for graphical method and bisection method, it's not always the same. Because again, graphical method is through observation using our eyes where it intersects in the x-axis. Okay? So in this case, It's just a coincidence that it arrived in the same answer. Okay, clear for the bisection method? Any questions? No. So it's quite easier pa, no? Oh, yes, Mr. Russell.
Sir, question lang po. Paano po masasabi kapag approximate equal to 0 na po?
If we are going to round off it here, round off mo. Diba, approximately equal to 0 na yan. No?
Ah, pag nag
Okay?
0.0 na po.
Ah, no.
Sige po, thank you po.
Okay, any other questions po before we proceed? Yes, Shane.
Sir, tanong ko lang po, dito po sa table ay ilan pong decimal places yung susundin po namin?
In my, when I'm doing an exam, minimum of 4 decimal places. Okay? But you can use the whole decimal for, uh, because when using the whole decimal, you are more approximately or accurately more correct to the true value. But you can just use the 4 decimal places. Okay? Any other questions before we proceed to the false position method? None? Okay. So proceeding to our next topic, let's go back to our slide. False position method. Now, although bisection is perfectly valid technique for determining roots, its brute force approach is relatively inefficient. Meaning, if you are going to compare false position method to bisection method, false position method is more accurate. Okay? More accurate than bisection. Okay? False position method, again, is more accurate than bisection method. It is also an alternative based on graphical insight. Okay, so false position method, an alternative based on graphical insight. And also a shortcoming of bisection method is that in dividing the interval of x lower and x upper into equal halves, no account is taken of the magnitude of f of xl and f of xr. That is why when using false position method, it is more accurate. Okay. So steps for false position method. So steps in here is just the same as bisection method. The only difference is how we determine the value of x root. Okay, just the same. First step, make an initial guess for x lower and x upper. After making an initial guess, determine if there is a root between them by multiplying the f of xl and f of x upper. It should be negative in order for us to determine or to say that it meets the condition where the x root is between the initial guesses. Okay, once you determine or once you get the product and it's negative, we can now proceed to step 2, which is solving for the root of equation, which is again, this is the formula. Kindly write it down. No, we will be using it again in the example. For number 3, for step 3, make the following evaluation in which the subinterval the root lies. Again, same as for the bisection method, when the product of the two is less than 0 or negative, we are going to change x upper. If the answer for the product of these two is positive, then x lower is going to be changed. And lastly, if it's approximately equal to 0, we are going to terminate the computation because we already get the x root for the equation. Okay, just so it's still the same as bisection method. This is the only difference. Okay. So moving on to another example. Let's use the previous example again. Let's see if we are still going to get the same answer as the graphical and bisection method when using false position method. No? So let's use the Jamboard again. So it's just the same for our bisection method. There is still a table. Let's use a table again for much more easier and keeping track of our solutions. No. So for false position method, hmm, so false position method. So let's use again a table. XR, X root, X lower, X upper. Then we have F of XL. Now, instead of going to F of XR, we are going to include F of XU. Okay? Why? Again, because the formula for false position method requires F of X upper. Okay? Then we have X of X root, then the product of F of XL and F of XR. Okay? Again, first iteration. Or before we proceed to the first iteration, step 1, make an initial guess. So initial guess, step 1, make an initial guess for XL and XR. So let's use again 12 and 16. No, 12 and 16. Let's see. Let's compare if we are still going to arrive at the final answer of 14.75. So f of XL and f of XR. Sorry. This is not R, this is upper. So X upper and f of X upper. So we've already solved this. Let's just copy it. So 6.11 and negative 2.23. 6.11, negative 2.23. Does everyone know where we get these items? Are there any clarifications before I proceed? None? Okay. So everyone understood where we get these values. Okay. So again, determining it, making a product. So the product of the two is negative. So then again, if this is negative, there is at least one root between the two initial guesses. Okay? Again, if this is negative, there is at least one root between the two initial guesses. So we can now proceed to step 2. So if negative, ang product is negative, if the product of the two, if the product of f of xl and f of xr, xu is negative, proceed to step 2. Okay? So step 2. Step 2, again, solving for XR, where the formula is X upper minus F of X, uh, ano nga yun? Wait lang. F of
F of
XU,
XU po.
okay, then L minus XU divided by F of XL minus, sorry, F of XL minus F of XU. Okay? Then again, simply substitute all the given. So let's first input it in the table. So XL is 12, then 16, 6.11, negative 2.23. Okay, solve for the XR. Substitute the following. So our X upper is 16 minus F of X upper is negative 2.23 multiplied by 12 minus 16 divided by 6.11 minus negative 2.23. So what is our x root here? Anyone? What is the x root? Kindly input it in your calculator.
1.0695.
1.0695. Correct? Oh, wait. Others are answering 14.93. Uh, maybe
Ay, sali pala po
14.
sir. Di po pala naisama yung 16.
Okay, so 14.93.
14.9.
Okay, so 14.93. So this is our first root for our first iteration. So let's input it in the table, 14.93. And now solve for the f of xr. What is our f of xr? Negative 0.2498. 2498. Did everyone get the exact same answer? Negative 0.2498. Okay. So proceeding, since this is the answer, now kindly get the product of these two. What is the product? 6.11 times negative 2.498.
Negative 1.5262 po.
Ganyan.
Ay,
Tama ba?
5263 po. Pag niround up.
Okay,
5263.
5263. No. So we have now solve for the f of xr, which is again less than 0 but not approximately equal to 0. Meaning we are going to change. What are we going to change? XL or XU?
XU po.
Okay, so we are going to change XU. So second iteration, copy XR to the XU since this is negative. So 14.93, then just copy XL. So 12. So since we've copied this, we'll just copy f of XL, 6.11. Then since our XU is from the previous is f of XR, we're just going to copy. Sorry. 0.2498. Then again, step 2. Going back to step 2, solve for the XR, solve for the f of XR, and then solve for the product of the two. So step 2, XR is equal to, our X upper now is 14.93. 14.93 minus, then f of XU is negative 2498. 98 multiplied by x lower, which is 12 minus 14.93 divided by our f of x lower is 6.11 minus f of x upper, which is negative 0.2498. Oh, what's the answer? Fourteen point eight one four nine. Okay, so 14.8149. So 14 point, ano yun? 8149. Then kindly solve for f of xr again. Are everybody following in solving this false position method? Okay. Yes, Mr. Avniel, what is our answer?
Sir, may tatanong lang po. Ang
Okay.
gagamitin po ba laging formula A yung binigay niyo po kanina? Halimbawa po, hindi po siya given. Need po namin siya sa uluhin. Parang sa lahat na po siya.
Ito ba?
Yan po. Apa.
Oo. Since given naman to, giniven naman, di yun ang gagamitin natin. Ano? So, in cases, mas
Paano po
maganda,
sir pagka yung wala pong ano yan? Pag hindi po binigay, kailangan po sa ulo namin yun.
you need to be familiar with other, formulas. Ano? So,
Sige po, thank you
minsan,
po.
hindi ito yung gagamiting formula. Minsan, sasabihin, distance formula. Alam nyo ba yung distance formula? No, yung mga ganong cases. Okay? So, ready lang kayo dapat lagi sa mga formula. Since third year na naman kayo, no? Dapat alam nyo na yun. Nasa na tayo? Again, going back. F of x r, yan. Thank you for the answer. So, negative 0.0268. Yan. What is the product? So, 6.11 times 0.02, negative 0.0268. Answer is negative 0.1637. So, are we going to terminate the equation in this second iteration? Yes, are we going to stop na? Yes or no?
I think
No?
yes po sir.
Those who said yes, that is correct. We are now going to stop na. Why? If we are going to round off here, what is the answer? 0. No. Rounding this off, in this tens, our ones, we get the result of 0. So, stop na tayo dyan. So, we are going to stop it na. This is already approximately equal to 0. So, our answer for the root of the equation is 14.8149. Okay? Clear? For false position method. So, if we are going to compare it sa bisection method, the final answer that we get is not the same. Because, again, false position method is much more accurate. Okay? So, when solving bisection and false position method, it is better for you if you are going to use these tables. No? Mas madali siyang maintindihan, more cleaner, and presentable. And you can also track the changes which we will be using or which are we going to change. Is it XL, XU? No, so I'm suggesting you use this table when solving for false position and bisection method. Okay? So any questions so far for false position and bisection method? Thumbs up if no questions, so we can proceed for the next. Okay, so if no questions, so we are going now to proceed to the approximate percent relative error. Going back to the slide. So let's use this table. So for bisecting method. So I'm just going to copy no, our answers from the table. We have 14, 15, 14.5, 14.75. I'm just copying this from what we've solved. 12, 14, and we have 6.11, 1.61, 1.61, and 0.59. For our last table, we have, sorry, baliktad. Anyway, copy muna. 1.11, 1.61, 1.61, 0.59. Sorry, baliktad pala. F of XR, we have 1.61 here, negative 0.38, then 0.59, and 0.09. Now, if you are going to notice, there is another table here, which is the approximate percent relative error. Again, from our topic 1, I've also discussed that we will be discussing the errors in these examples now. So for better understanding. So before we proceed in solving it, so let's again define this is the approximate percent relative error where its formula is XR new minus XR old divided by XR new. Now, in our previous topic, what it said there is uh, EA is equal to current approximation minus previous approximation divided by current approximation multiplied by 100. So still the same. No, current, which is new, previous, which is old, current, new. No, so still the same. So this is the formula for getting the approximate percent relative error. So in this slide, so why are we going to, sorry, be discussing the approximate relative percent relative error? Because sometimes in the problem, we have given up stopping criterion. So what is the stopping criterion? So not necessarily this step 3 or letter C is always being followed. What do I mean by that? If the problem, let's use this example, if the problem says or indicate that the stopping criterion, this is given. Stopping criterion is equal to 0.5%. Then we need to solve the approximation error. We need to solve this. We need to solve EA where it should be less than or equal to the stopping criterion, which is 0.5%. Okay? So in this case, in this table, so again, in solving for EA, the formula is XR new minus old divided by new absolute value multiplied by 100%. No, so we have XR. So in this case, for our first iteration, this is 0 or none, not applicable because this is just our first XR. No, there's no previous X root. So there's no approximate relative percent relative error in the first iteration. Then for our iteration 2, so we will be having, so new, so 15 and 14. So 15 minus 14 divided by 15, absolute value times 100. Kindly calculate this one for me, please. What is the answer?
6.66.
6.6667. Correct? Okay. Now, this is in percent. It says that in the problem, the stopping criterion, for example only, so stopping criterion is 0.5%. We need to achieve an uh, approximate percent relative error that is less than or equal to 0.5%. Ay, sorry, baliktad. Meaning, if we did not achieve this in this second iteration, we are still going to proceed and then proceed and proceed until we reach this condition. So we are not going to look at this one. We are going to follow the stopping criterion if there is a given stopping criterion. Okay? So how about in our iteration 3? So for iteration 3, so this is for second iteration. So for third iteration, we have 14.5 minus 15 divided by 14.5, then absolute value times 100%. Now, what's the answer?
3.4483 po.
3.448%. No. So still not yet achieving this condition. So we still need to move on again. So solve again for the XR, f of XR, and the product of these two. No. So in this case, so fourth iteration, we're still solving it. So 14.75 minus 14.5 divided by 14.75 times 100%. What's the answer? 1.6949, 1.6949%. So in this case, in our example, we already stop in this iteration. In the fourth iteration, we already stop because the product of these two is already approximately equal to 0, right? But in this case, because we are given a stopping criterion, we are still going to solve for another XR. Okay? So there will be a fifth iteration solving again for the XR, so unknown value. And again, so since this is positive, so we will be changing the lowers. So this will be 14.75. X uppers retain 15. Then f of XR, we have solving, again, we're going to solve this. Given is 14.75, which is not even here. 0.09. So we are still going to solve again for another XR if there is a given stopping criterion because we did not achieve the condition. Okay? Did everybody understood what I'm just explaining or do I need to show the exact? Okay, since everybody understood, since there are some reactions, I will be making the assumption that everybody understood. Huh? So we are not going to stop in the 14.75 as the X root for our final answer if there is a given stopping criterion. Because again, this will overlap the condition of step 3 from the bisection method or the steps here. No, stopping criterion will overlap this one. Okay? Again, because definition of stopping criterion from the word stops itself, that is when we are going to stop. No. So pre-specified stopping criterion normally set at 0.75. Okay? So when there is a word stopping criterion in a problem and the percent value is not given, we are going to assume that it's 0.5%. Okay? Understood? This is not 0.15, this is 0.5. Okay? Let's try the false position method. We've got the answer for our false position method. Wait. let us solve for the approximation error in this one. Now, so using the false position method, we have XR new. Which one is the XR new natin dito for our second equation? 14.8149 minus 14.93 divided by 14.8149, again, absolute value times 100%. Now, what's the answer? Anyone? What's our,
0.77 po.
sorry, again, 0 point? What's the answer? 0.7769. 7769. So if you can see, no, if we are going to compare the approximation error of this false position method to our bisection method, which is the first one we've get is 6%, then 3%, then we have 1%, then if we are going to compare it, again, you can see that false position method is more accurate. No, because the percent that we've already got is the approximation error percent is already less than 1. No, so when using false position method, again, it is more accurate than bisection method. Ano? So that is why we can tell that false position method is more accurate because of this uh, approximate percent relative error. But yet again, since this is still not 0.5%, then we are going to solve for another XR. So third iteration. Okay? So that's it for our topic. Any questions? For the error or approximation error, any questions? Okay, none. So there are no more questions. So thank you for attending. Do we have a meeting tomorrow?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so I will not be available tomorrow. So we will be continuing the next topic next week, which is Saturday again. No, so no meeting for tomorrow na. Okay, again, no meeting for tomorrow. We will be continuing it next week, Saturday. And also, I will be giving the handout next week. No, so sorry for the delay. Do you have any face-to-face this week? Maybe I can give it to you, the handout already this week. Do you have any face-to-face classes?
Yes po, sir. Monday po.
Monday. So maybe I'll be able to give the handout na by this Monday. No? Okay. So any questions? Yes po.
Sir, question po. About po sa handout, magkano po kaya ang babayadan?
Tatanong ko pa dun sa pinaprintan ko, no? I-chat ko na lang dun sa GC if how much. No, ilang pages lang din naman to. Okay. Any other questions po before I end this call or meeting?
Sir, pwede po mahingi Jamboard?
Jamboard. Okay, sige. Okay, share ko na lang sa ano. Wait lang. Sige, mamaya share ko sa inyo. Na? Mamaya na lang. Any other questions po? Wala na? So if there are no more questions, thank you for attending and then see you next week na. Ay, you may leave na. This,
Thank you po.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.
Thank you po.